It doesn't work. Hello, I'm Caleb. Spoilers, the build will not go to plan. It's a thing that I thought I could bash out in a day, but it ended up taking about 5. Chapter 1. Hopeful beginnings. Take 1. Hi guys, Caleb here. Today we're building my new PC for gaming and also student work, like architecture rendering and stuff. I haven't built a PC for about 3 years now. I think the last one I built in like 2021 with much older parts, and my current PC is about 6 or 7 years old. So I'm a bit out of practice, so this will not be tutorial. I've got Faith behind the camera who might end up helping me a little bit. But we've got a full AMD, you can skip past this bit if you don't want technicals. But we've got a full AMD build with a 7900 VRE, an AMD 7800 X3D Ryzen 7 with 360 IO, a bunch of Arctic fans, and a 64 gigs of RAM because of all my editing and photoshopping and report making that always uses loads of RAM, and a second-hand Elite AX Ice AORUS motherboard, which is second-hand and it's a little bit dodgy with some of the pins bent, so we're not sure whether everything is going to work. I also forgot to mention the star of the show, the Ep.2 ASUS Prime case, which we will be building in today. Back to Pastor Caleb. But fingers crossed, it will. Let's start building. Okay. The first thing I think I'm going to want to do is start on the motherboard and installing the CPU and the RAM.
So what is this?
We're installing the CPU, and like I said, it's not tutorial because I actually don't know what I'm doing. For AM5 and for older ones as well, you have an arrow telling you where to put it, and there'll be an arrow corresponding on the motherboard. So we've got 64 gigs total of DDR5 6000 MHz CL30 Corsair RAM with RGB, so I paid a premium. The aesthetics over price, aesthetics over budget. So this is great. Faith is going to install the RAM. Perfect. Okay, next. So we just need to line up these standoffs with the holes in the motherboard and then screw them in. Just don't leave this in the video, hey? It's just dangerous. Screws. So as Faith is trying to install the power supply into the power supply bracket, which wasn't quite going to plan, I started to see if I could start connecting up the front panel connectors. Okay, so we have come to the conclusion that I need some cable extenders because, as you can see, my CPU power isn't able to reach even on the front side, so I really want it to like route on the back and come over the top here, like so. And I've bought a set of white power supply cable extenders. So we're going to take a little bit of a break on plugging in all the power, but I think I should be able to install my liquid freezer AIO. So it's white with A-RGB fans. I'm hoping that will fit up here, but just about. Try my best not to get this copper dirty. Okay, just quick recap on day one of build. Didn't go quite to plan. We need some cable extenders. It's going to be a lot harder than I thought because it is quite a small case, which I haven't done before, as well as the AIO, which I haven't done before. So I will see you tomorrow after I come back from work. And hopefully we should get it done and there won't be any more hiccups. See you tomorrow. It is the next day and my extension cables have arrived. I have a job for safe, so I'm going to make her do it while she's watching TV.
What's that?
You have a job. So there's like the extensions, and then inside there, there's some combs that will separate them.
Okay.
And you have to separate them. I've started one.
Oh.
So you have to do that whilst you're watching TV.
That's easy.
Yeah, okay. See you in a bit.
Okay, bye.
Chapter 2, Delirium. You may notice me sort of deteriorating at this point.
So the fans are installed, but it's day 3. I spent a lot of time yesterday trying to figure out how to connect RGB connectors together, and it turned out I was just being a little bit of a silly goose. So today we're going to steal a terabyte NVMe drive from an external drive that I don't use at the moment, and that will be my boot drive. Later down the line I'm going to need to buy a much bigger drive because I'm going to need more than a terabyte for all my games and movies and whatnot. And then hopefully we'll be able to install Windows, install a new BIOS, and then install this beautiful thing, which I really can't wait to do because it's so beautiful. And this is the Steel Legend Radeon 7900 GRE, but fingers crossed. We still don't know whether the motherboard works. Hopefully by the end of the day we will. Let's get started. Essentially you put it in at about 30 degrees. And this one has like a latch system. I just have to press down and it rotates around and holds it in place without any screws. Ta-da! I actually think now is also a good time to install the GPU. Remember to put the power cables in, like so. Click, click. And with that we should be able to boot up the PC. It doesn't work. I've been trying for like the last hour and a half to see if it will boot, but I think the motherboard is actually dead. When I ordered a new motherboard, I'm going to return this one and get my money back. I'm going to buy a new motherboard instead of a used one, and fingers crossed it works. Let's get this dead one out.
So, at this point, my mental health is not doing great. I've been trying to build this computer for the last 3 days, which I thought would only take 1. But at this point, I thought I had it all figured out.
I think this power supply which I bought, SFX refurbished one, is bricked. So everything I said still applies. I'm going to rebuild the PC and see if it works. But I'm going to get a new power supply and probably get a new one instead, which is going to cost a bit more money. This power supply is from my existing computer and I just used it and it worked. So first things first, Power supply. What is a good power supply?
So I feel like there needs to be some explanation here. At this point, I'd made a wrong diagnosis, thinking it was just the power supply that was broken. It was in fact both the motherboard and the power supply. The motherboard with the bent pins, and I'm not sure what was wrong with the power supply, but it was refurbished. It wasn't guaranteed that it was going to work. I soon find out that there was still a red light on the motherboard with the new power supply. And this is after essentially deconstructing and reconstructing the whole PC. By now you can sort of tell I was sort of done at this point. So
we're gonna skip to when I have a complete build. Yeah. So in a bit.
Chapter 3. Relief.
It works. So what actually became clear was after I had installed my power supply from After I had installed the power supply from my existing PC, there was still an error message that was coming up and it wasn't booting. So in the end, I had to buy not only the new power supply, I also had to buy a brand new motherboard. So I went for a new one as opposed to a used one from Amazon. So I gave up trying to save up like the £30 it would save me. And went new just because I would have peace of mind knowing that it works. And I was sort of stressing about whether the CPU actually would work, because I bought that from Facebook Marketplace, which is risky, but you can save a little bit of money. But it can also lose you a lot of money if you buy a new one, because you don't usually have warranty with buying from just normal people on Facebook Marketplaces, basically. So it boots. After this, I'm going to just buy a cheap product key for Windows and set it all up with all my, I might do a new BIOS, I might do some sort of tuning for some of the fans, but essentially it's done. And the only thing I will now need to do in the future is buy a bigger M.2 drive, so I have more space, but I'll give you a closer look now. So here's the final build. Got all 7 fans installed and AIO. All the RAM works, GPU's fine, and it is a beauty. I'm just gonna go ahead and put the side panel on so you can see the sort of final effect. So here is the final build with the side panel on. You can see the sort of like pixelated light that this case makes, a little bit more subtle than like glass panels. I'm currently just installing Windows. I think it works. So we're in Windows. I'll need to check whether all the components are working, but I'd like to reiterate, I know it doesn't seem like I'm having fun in the video. I do really like the final result, and I've been using the PC for about a month now, and it is blowing my old PC out the water. I'm gonna give my old PC to Faith in a new case. Feel free to leave any questions you have about the PC or the build process. I understand that this video wasn't a tutorial, but it was even more unclear what was happening than I thought it would be. And back to Caleb to close out the video. It's been quite a stressful week trying to build this computer, second guessing whether all my used parts were going to work. Most of them didn't. But thanks for watching, and subscribe to see more of what the Sibleengs are up to. I've got to clean up all of this mess now, and see you next time. Bye bye.